Fun show again today. Congress comes back to block or stop or reverse the agenda. I'm talking to you about radicals and communists, and we're doing it all tonight in the framework of Star Wars, which would lead every executive in television and television history to say, how the hell is this show successful? I don't know. I told you from the beginning, okay, you guys don't have to laugh so hard. I told you from the beginning that the progressives in Washington are creating a global structure. They're creating this structure, and you don't want to see it turned on. Just like in Star Wars, when Princess Leia said, Obi-Wan Kenobi, you're our only hope. She had the plans for the Death Star. She said, you're not going to like it when they turn this on. The Imperial forces were building the ultimate source of power. In the end, how did it end? Come on. How did it end? Stupid, ridiculous, fuzzy bears blew up the ultimate source of power. This is great. Sweetness, because they would have never seen the little fuzzy bears coming. Now, when everything feels overwhelming, how do you beat it? Let's look for a little fuzzy bear. You don't have to be an Ewok. But I can guarantee you never saw the Ewoks coming, and neither did they. And they don't see you coming. Big government always fails in the end. It always does, whether it's collapsed by an Ewok or something else. But it always does. Look at every big government debacle ever, from Vlad the Impaler to Benito Mussolini. And I don't really know anything about Vlad the Impaler. I just think he's got a cool name and a spooky story. And don't give me the Mussolini thing. How dare you bring up Mussolini? Really, everybody loved him all around the world. Everybody in the media, the New York Times, oh, Mussolini, he's great. And a lot of rank and file Americans and all the Italians loved him. Mussolini was a good man. New York Times wrote glowingly about this guy, until it ended in, murder of a lot of people. In fact, I've told you before, a salute to him was etched into our architecture in New York City and Rockefeller Center. There it is. It's not there anymore because it was later replaced because some people went, I don't think that's good, by this. But don't worry about it, you blogs. It's a crazy Glenn. Oh, and only the quintessential book on art of Rockefeller Center that Columbia University and everybody else uses says that. So big governments always collapse. Why? Ewoks? No, not exactly. You can't contain the individual. You can't contain man's understanding of the fact that his rights come from God, life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness and all that stuff. All the stuff that what was it? Somebody said today, don't you think this constitutional stuff is getting a little out of control? Oh, I know. Next thing you know, you'll have a nation of laws and not of men. It's what used to be called common sense. If I may quote, I believe it was the Birds that first said, to everything there is a season. There is a structure to everything. There is a blueprint. There is a formula. They're using one. It's bottom up, top down. It's Cloward and Piven's system to collapse the system. It's Saul Alinsky. They're organized. They got it. Barack Obama was a community organizer. Do you remember when we used to look at community organizers a little like we looked at Ewoks? We all laughed at them. I'm like, that's ridiculous. Shouldn't have been laughing at them. They've been organizing for America. They have Acorn. They have the unions. They're telling their followers now, as we showed you, stand up, get into the streets, make noise, or even worse. And yet they can't stand it when we as average Americans take a stand. That's why the Tea Party is the bane of their existence. That's why they're all freaked out with the Republicans coming into office today. What they don't get, and what freaks them out the most, is nobody needed to organize them. Nobody needed to bust them in. Tea Party members just stand up. They do it on their own. Why? Because they believe in something. They believe in something. And it doesn't come from a place of anger. So we know their formula. It's right here. Right here. But what is our formula? What is America's for? What is the TPA? What is your formula? What is your blueprint? We'll get into that next. Okay, as I've shown you tonight, the left has a plan to capture our country. They have a blueprint, and they are following it to perfection. But what is yours? I mean, this is what I do for a living, and I've been thinking about it for a while, and I needed some kind of structure to help me understand everything and keep on the right path, and I created a solution, the E4 solution. And it's really to help me just be able to keep my feet on the right path. It's a 4-step project to restore America. Enlightenment. You have to know who you are. You have to question everything. You start at the very beginning. Who am I? Why am I here? What is the meaning of all of it? Enlightenment. That's really the good and evil part. Which side are you on? 2, education. That is one of the biggest problems in America. 26% of Americans don't even know who we broke away from to gain independence. Great Britain. Hello? Education is important. Watch this program and talk about it. DVR it. Go over segments with your families. Use it as a discussion. I'm a recovering alcoholic, and I can't believe I'm saying this, but go to a bar and watch it with friends. Don't just watch it. Use this program. Otherwise, quite honestly, everything that this staff who works unbelievably hard, everything they do is wasted. You don't have to agree with me on everything. You don't have to believe. I don't want you to believe me. I want you to find it out for yourself. You can disagree, but dig down and find out why you disagree, not just, well, he's stupid. Really, Einstein? Next one is empowerment. And that's what I focused on really tonight, except the reverse of it. I say restore man's freedom. The left says tear it apart. Man cannot rule himself. And if you don't believe me, that's what they're saying. Here's Nancy Pelosi. She just said as much. Listen to this.
If everyone in America was very, very pleased with his or her health insurance and had no complaints and had access to quality, affordable health care in our country, it still would have been necessary for us to pass the health care reform bill, because we could not sustain the system.
Wait, what? Even if everyone loved their health care and everyone was covered, we'd have to still grab control and choke the snot out of every doctor in America. Why? Because you're not capable of making your own decisions. So we, the all-powerful, all-knowing government, must be man's ruler. This is what Van Jones says, the heart part. This is what he's talking about. Know who you are and know that you have the power as the individual, but they just want you to have the power of the individual to be angry. In fact, give me this. This is the quote from Yoda. I love this quote from Yoda. Fear is the path to the dark side. Fear leads to anger. Anger leads to hate. Hate leads to suffering. Which leads us here. If you don't get into the anger and hate, he's saying, rise up. Clarendon Piven, we just showed you, just said, rise up in your anger. No. Anger leads to suffering. Anger leads to riots, calling out for a solution. They have one. They will implement it, and you lose your freedom. This solution, enlightenment, education, empowerment, which they're using these two for the dark side, this one leads to an entrepreneurship. What is that? Oh, it's just capitalism making money. No. It's not necessarily about making money. It's about your ability to pursue happiness, to have an idea as you're sitting there in your underpants, like I usually do, watch TV and go, wait a minute, that gives me an idea. And you put it into action. That's what Van Jones is talking about here, the heart part.
So now your challenge as you leave here, our challenge, is to take care of that bottom-up part and that inside-out part, the heart part.
Yes.
That's where we're weak now. Top down, bottom up, and inside out.
They're weak there because that's about anger for them. This is about something you actually believe in. You believe in it. Now, you're here for a reason. You know what our history is. You know the truth. You are the solution. What are you going to do about it? Not about anger. realization to put an idea into action. You stand up and you create something, not destroy it, you create it as an individual. That's what we were promised by the founders of this country, not social justice, where the government corrects all the problems in life for us, even though we're all happy and we all are covered, they'll correct it for us because we're too stupid. Equal justice, not social justice, where each of us as individuals have the opportunity to succeed or fail based on our own merit and work ethic. That is the restoration of America. That's not a political solution. That's common sense. And that is what created American exceptionalism. And we'll refound it again.